What's going on, YouTube? Apache here, bringing you yet another daily upload. I started my channel about a week ago, and I haven't missed a day uploading, so I'm hoping to keep that going. I wanted to just take a second to thank you guys for all of the early support that I've been getting. I know I don't have like a massive following or anything like that, but I just wanted to take a second to thank you guys for just making me want to grind and do more with this channel. I do appreciate everything you guys have been saying. With that said, if you're new to the channel, welcome to Casa de Apache. And for this video, big disclaimer, I don't claim to be a professional Call of Duty player, nor do I claim to be better than anybody or think that how I think is the only way that is right. But I do have a pretty extensive record when it comes to Call of Duty. I mean, I've played since COD 4, and the problem with me and ever going pro was I was never consistent. I would always, you know, take breaks and put my social life ahead of Call of Duty, and that kind of that hindered me from ever going pro the way I wanted to. But I mean, what I notice now is I get on Twitter, and this is a huge rant, just another disclaimer, that and I see all of these amateur teams making the same mistakes that I made way back when, and that would be changing your roster like every week. Like if somebody performs bad for 3 days, you drop them. And then personally, now that, you know, it's been a while since then and I'm smarter now. And if you look at, for example, for somebody who does this, and I don't mean to offend you if you're dropping kids left and right and you're like a team captain or whatever. But when you look at these pro teams, you have like Optic and Envy, the new Envy roster, and FaZe. They don't drop their players every week or even almost every other month or anything like that. These teams last for months on end, and dropping a player should be used as like a last resort when you know there is no getting this player better or getting to where this or making this player get online to grind more. Like it should. That's what's really wrong, because you think you can go pro and just find a different team or find a different fourth and all of that, and that magically somehow you're just going to find this God squad that naturally together makes sense. But you have to find a team that has chemistry and lose a shit ton of games and find out what chemistry is actually about. I mean, how many just crushing losses has Optic had when it comes to champs? And really, Scump and Formal and Crim6 and Karma, they all have that experience and they know what they're getting into, and they have that chemistry because not only have they won, but they've also lost. So when I see all of these playing for a different org, amateur org over here today, and then got kicked, or we're dropping so-and-so, we need a new fourth, looking for 1 or 2. Like, every time I see that on Twitter, I can't help but shake my head a little bit. Like, not that I think that these are bad people or anything like that, or that they're dumb, but I think they're making a big mistake that if you stick with the same roster for a long time, give it 4 months, and see if you see any progress in the team, then that's when you know that, is this team going anywhere? Is it doing anything? And if you're trying to go pro, you not only need to practice individually and become better as a player by yourself, you need to have 3 other people with that same passion. So when you start a team, you need to ask everybody, you need to ask each other, is this something that you're serious about? Like, can you travel? Because even if you play wagers and you beat pros in wagers online with your team, they're still going to think you're an online warrior until you go to a LAN. That's where you can really prove to pros that you're a good player. And once they notice that, hey, this guy, he's been hot for like the last 2 to 3 LANs, like, and then they will notice you on Twitter, you'll get invited to 8's lobbies, and hopefully eventually picked up by a pro team and go pro. Now, with that said, it's always the quality of your practice over the quantity. I've been on teams and I've seen teams who have they'll scrim for literally 6 to 8 hours a day, but they don't say anything after it. It's like they either win or lose the map, and then they're either quiet after they lose, or they're like, fuck yeah, after they win. and it legitimately doesn't make sense because you're not getting any better, you're just playing the game. Maybe your shot gets really warmed up by the end of the night, but then when you get on tomorrow, your shot's cold again, and it's just this refurbished and rehashed thing that happens over and over again. You're kind of at a standstill with your skill as a team and individually. But what you have to do is go back after every single match, whether you win or lose, and critique as a team one thing that happened that gave the other team a point or a round or a flag or 20 seconds in the hard point that you guys could have had. And I know teams hate doing this, but theater is one of the best creations ever put into Call of Duty because it gives you, even if you don't have a capture card or anything like that, it gives you the possibility of going and looking at what a team did to throw your strategy and setup off, and it gives you a chance to look at how to throw other team strategies and setups off, especially if you're going to a LAN and you're scrimming a team that you're going to play. You're going to want to watch what they do, even if it's theater. It's not cheating. I mean, professional sports teams do it too. They go and they watch film. Another thing that you cannot do, or you will not go pro within the Call of Duty community, is talk an excessive amount of trash. I know some pros do it, but they have reached the top echelon of Call of Duty players, so they kind of have the right to talk shit amongst other pros, and even to you. Yes, they do have the right to do that. They've made it, right? But at the same time, if you're an amateur, you can't burn a lot of your bridges. And I mean that, and I'm talking about this from personal experience. I was on a team before, and there was this kid, and he was doing completely ass for a long time. And I was like, you know what, man? I was fed up at one point. I said, either you drop this fool, or I'm out. And they ended up dropping him. And eventually, he went to another team, and they ended up playing us, and he got a lot better. Like, he got a lot better. And it took us a while to actually beat that team and catch up and reach their caliber. And I really did regret being that kind of teammate because, like I said before, if you over-criticize your teammates, it really hurts them, and they're not going to reach their full potential, and it's going to hurt you in the long run because you're teaming with them. So if I would have approached him in the right way and tried to help him become a better player, he could have became a better player with me, and we would have been a really good team. But he went and did that with another team, and to this day, I regret doing that. But I'm going to go ahead and say this one more time. I'm not a professional Call of Duty player, and I don't think I'm better than anybody, okay? I'm just saying, if anything, that this is some of the things that, these are mistakes that I've made in the past 8 or 9 years, playing both competitive and casual, just being a player online. And if anything, I hope this helps somebody out there who is either just getting into competitive or they've been in the competitive for about a year or two. With that said, guys, if you want to like and subscribe, I'd extremely appreciate that. It would help the channel grow. I do appreciate all of the support that I've got just starting my channel like a week ago. I really appreciate everything, guys. I left all of my social media links in the description below. I'll probably be streaming later tonight if you guys want to tune in and watch. I'd appreciate that as well. And with that said, I'll see you guys later.